through the front half of the field to get the win. We talked to Austin today, and you can start already seeing some of the clips of that interview that we did on DJD. And so, anyways, want to thank Xfinity for sponsoring this portion of the show, the Ask Junior segment of the show. We are promoting the Xfinity Mobile part of their business. It's the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots all over the country. So if you're ever in a bind, they're going to be able to hook you up. And the coverage is great. Make the switch today and you can save with Xfinity Mobile. Also, we have probably, with the fire and intensity that happened over at Richmond, we had the teardown, which was epic. It's usually really, really great anyways. The teardown with Jordan and Jeff Gluck was out. If you haven't listened to that, you'll want to get their take on their reaction to the race in basically kind of in the moment, an hour or so after the race was over with. Denny's show I heard was amazing with Actions Detrimental. Door Bumper Clear, always good. So a lot of great information and podcasting to listen to this week. And on our guest segment, our guest this week is Josh Wise. Josh Wise drove here in the Xfinity Series for Junior Motorsports, had a career in motorsports as a driver, but also now is a sort of a development coach for Chevrolet, and works with a lot of the young drivers that are coming up into the pipeline of Chevrolet to try to help them prepare and become better, not only athletes, but mentally tougher and better prepared to do a good job on the racetrack. One of his first drivers that he worked with was Kyle Larson. And Kyle called me the other day to ask me if I'd interview Josh. So great idea, and thank you, Larson, for that. It's a good conversation. You'll want to check that out tomorrow. So, let's get right to it. I'm sure there's a lot of great questions for today, and just glad to see everybody out there. It's a busy week. I've been out of town and doing a lot of fun things here lately, but glad to be back in the studio.
Yes, the YouTube chat's already popping off, so we are glad you guys are here. Yeah. This first question coming from Twitter from Oz. Why were your helmets, he was asking about the Bud days, specifically, why'd they have no artwork? Like, why were there no designs on it? I know you don't do a whole lot of designs, period, when it comes to helmets, so why is that?
All right, so I used to, if you go back to like 1998, 99, Nick Pasture, who does a lot of helmets and has done helmets for years, in the sport for a lot of different drivers, I'd just let him do whatever he wanted. We would have typically a skull theme. I was into skulls, and I told him, I said, just make the back of my helmet kind of scary. I want the other drivers to look at it and go, this guy's crazy. And so
scary.
Yeah. It was definitely like a little bit out of my personality, but Nick had a history of painting backdrops for big bands like maybe Guns N' Roses and others for their backdrop at stage concerts and stuff like that. He got into painting bikes, but he's just really talented and did my helmets for all of my career. And but I will say this, one of the helmets, like I think Nick might have, there's Nick's name on this Superman helmet here. It says Nick Pasture. So Nick did my helmets in the Xfinity Series, and they were blue, and then he did a couple of my Bud helmets that were red, and it's all skulls and flames, and it was really cool. But at the same time, man, they get banged around inside the car, especially the open face helmets. You could toss them things around. A full face helmet is like with the Hans connected, which I always leave mine connected. It's tough as hell moving it in around the cockpit of a car, and it's like a pain in the butt. But those open face helmets get tossed around, and that paint, his coat of paint and all of the work he does is thick, and it chipped. And I'd get so disappointed, right, that it got chipped and nicked. And one day I was sitting on pit wall, and there was another driver, and I won't name who it is. He's not with us anymore. I don't want to talk about somebody in that regard. But this person was sitting next to me, and we were just having a conversation, and our helmets were sitting on pit wall, and a fan came over to ask for an autograph or a photo and accidentally bumped that driver's helmet to the ground. and he reacted really ugly to this fan knocking his helmet down, and my helmet. And I thought, man, I'm just not. I'm tired of worrying about my helmet. I just do a black. So when we went to full face helmets, I was like, I don't care. I want it black carbon. I don't want to care about it at all. And Nick's like, well, I still want to paint your helmets. And I was like, well, just do something on the back, and I won't never see it or worry about it, and the rest will be plain. And that's kind of where we've been ever since. And I just, I love the ideas that a lot of these new, a lot of the current designers have. There's some amazing helmets out there, and I think it's awesome if that's who you are and what you want. It's just not me. I don't want to have to worry about the helmet getting banged up or tore up, and I also felt like it was a bit drawing too much attention to me that I didn't need, right? And so if you can understand that, that's probably not understandable, but anyways, that's why I went to a basic looking helmet. Yeah, and let Nick do what he wants on the back. He always kinds of comes up with some cool design, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. What the next question is from Tyrell. Kind of non-racing related, but what are your thoughts on the MLB game that's going to be happening at Bristol?
Great. Good.
It's cool.
Yeah, cool.
Like, would you have ever expected
a
baseball game at Bristol?
They had the football game there.
Yeah.
So not too much of a stretch.
I just didn't even think it would fit in that space.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it will.
It's plenty big enough.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing was Jordan Bianchi said that it could possibly be the most attended baseball game of all time.
Right.
Because it's such a big stadium.
Look, I'm excited for Marcus and his team. I'm excited for Bristol. I'm happy for them. Whatever gets us closer to putting asphalt down on that racetrack. In my mind, this is a step forward toward that direction, right?
Yeah.
No, and so that's all good.
I just think it's funny that Marcus found a way to put dirt on the track somehow. Yeah. Somehow he's going to find a way to put dirt on.
It's return to Bristol Dirt.
I think
technically.
I honestly won't go, but I think if you walked in there and you don't know what you're getting ready to see, and you walk in, you got a ticket, and you walk in and you see it for the first time, it's going to be quite
it'll be a spectacle.
A sight.
Yeah. Right?
It'll be something to see.
Won't it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What I think is cool about Bristol, it seems like it's the only track, and I know some other like Vegas and Daytona, and they have music festivals and stuff, but it seems like it is truly a multi-purpose facility. Like, outside of the 2 races you get a year, there's more going on at Bristol, which I think is cool.
Oh yeah.
Let's see this. A bunch of people. This next question. A bunch of people in the YouTube chat are asking about the Hey Dudes, and if you have worn your Sundrop Hey Dudes
I don't have them yet.
Oh, you need to get a pair.
Yeah.
I want a pair too. I would rock them.
They're quite green.
Yeah.
They are green.
Yeah. I worry.
Wearing those to the supermarket.
Yeah. I worry sometimes when I see some of that stuff. I'm like, how are people going to react to this? Are they going to?
I think they look cool.
Oh, people love them.
They're going to like
Yeah.
them?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm in then. I don't want to ever be involved in something that isn't approved, right, by the masses. And a lot of times, I didn't even know that was happening. When I see it on the internet, I'm seeing it.
Hey.
When you see it,
dude,
I'm seeing it for the first time.
You're like, damn.
And I'm this real? So, yeah. So
people are excited about them.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there's a lot of hype on
Well,
Twitter about it.
Hey,
a ton.
Happy they're happy.
Yes. This is from Tony asking, why do drivers put their earplugs in their mouth before sticking it in their ears before climbing in the car?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. Those molds are made to fit your ear, obviously, and they're very tight. And over time, it's harder and harder to get them all the way in there. And so you'll get it in the interior of your ear, but the actual part that has, that you're trying to get in the canal is still not kind of in there. And it's very kind of gross to think about it, but it just makes getting it in there easier. Because, and I don't like to do it, and I'm sitting there trying to push this thing in there further, and it's just not going. But and your ears always are changing. I have ear molds, some ear molds from 2017, and they're a little loose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I guess our ears are always growing.
Huh.
I guess.
Mine
Part
still
of our-
fit
It's a part
perfect.
From what year?
Like 2018.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. I've got better
Your
ears than
ears
you.
aren't growing. You might want to have that looked at.
Yeah, I would go get that checked out.
Hey, I go to the doctor's office. So why did you come in here today? I got ear molds that still fit.
Yeah.
So
Can you just tell me my ears are growing, please? Everyone else says they are.
Yeah.
This next question's coming from Facebook from Matella. Are the girls excited to go back to school? Has that started yet?
Well,
I know, like it's like the next 2 weeks, everyone's
Isla,
going back to school.
Isla begins school this week. Nicole will be a couple more weeks, but you don't know. So, excuse me, you don't really. You never know whether they're really excited. We're in the car the other day, and Amy's going, hey, such and such is in your class. Such and such, and such and such, and such and such, and we're trying to get her like pumped.
Yeah.
And she's saying, "Oh, neat, yeah, I like that, awesome, yeah, that's my friend." But there's still this potential that when you pull up to the car line, that the tears are going to start pouring down, and I don't want to go, I'm scared, because they know that it's it's not kindergarten anymore, it's first grade, and they know that it ain't. It ain't last year's teacher. It's this new name that you don't know.
New kids in your class.
Well, we're trying to tell her that it's going to be a lot of the same kids, and that she's, so we'll see. Isla's the shy, reserved, cautious one. She's always going to be apprehensive in things like that. Nicole's just like, whatever. Give me. She's just
School fine.
Whatever. Okay.
Come home now.
Yeah.
Now bedtime.
Awesome.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. They
That's
are so
fun.
different. It's insane. But yeah. So
I-
Nicole's like, whatever.
That
Where's
brought. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say that brought me back
go.
to like the stress of waiting to see who's in your class. Y'all ever
No.
stress about that?
No.
Like showing up to
I
first
think-
day and
yeah,
like,
I think
oh
a little bit,
man, I
yeah.
hope this guy's in my class.
And
That
I
was stressful.
yeah.
That was a big problem.
I went to a
growing up.
small school, so like there was 83 people in my graduating class.
That's
So
not-
like
Yeah.
it was nothing.
yeah. I mean, I've been in schools where there were like 6 or 7 in my class.
Damn.
Yeah. Like I went to some
that's
tiny,
small.
tiny schools.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a lot of schools.
Yeah.
That was a problem. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Wouldn't
But
have known it.
yeah. Oh, really? So I don't know. I was just like, eager to make friends, and the quicker and more the better, and especially in those small classes, like there'd be 4 guys, 4 girls, or whatever. It's pretty even, and you're like, all right, we all gotta be friends. Who else?
Right.
Just
To us, yeah.
right? Yeah. So those were great.
Did you go to military school?
Yeah, 2 years.
What was that like?
Man, that's for a whole show.
That's a whole show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It was strict,
Yeah.
scary. There's not many kids that would go that didn't cry the first 2 weeks.
I would.
Terribly homesick. Just an oddest feeling. You're 12, 13, 14 years old, and your parents don't want you at home. Like, why don't you're struggling with this?
Right.
Like, why do you want to send me away? Why am I not? Why don't you want me with you where you are? And is your life so busy? And so you're having all these, and all the kids there had that reaction. They weren't.
Yeah.
They were all like pissed at their parents for being put in this position and felt less valued. And but the school, I'll be honest with you, man, I went there a year and a half, and then I went to a public school in Mooresville, which I enjoyed, and I had some great times there and good friends. But I really wanted to, and might have went and done it. I really wanted to go graduate from Oak Ridge. I wanted to have a final year at Oak Ridge because of how I felt like it had helped me. So I mean, you're in military school, and it's like you got to brush your teeth because
That's what you have to.
You got to get your hair cut. you had to have your hair cut a certain way, and it had to fit this certain parameter, and you had to go get it done. You had to schedule it. You picked up your mail. You mailed off your mail back home because there weren't phones and stuff. You got a box of care package in the mail, and it had socks and some candy or whatever. And man, everybody would get a care package, and the whole dorm would want to be
right.
like, what's in there? And you had to handle and learn to handle things instead of, if you were in a house like where I was, where you were used to everything being done for you, and you just worried about going and eating, and that's all you had to worry about was getting food out of the fridge. It's great because I learned a lot of responsibility. But so I wanted to go back and finish my last year there, but I also knew that I would take myself out of an opportunity to race, which I didn't want to do. Yeah. So I think if racing hadn't been in my life, I might have finished my high school career in military school.
Path would have been crazy.
Well, that's a good place to wrap it up today. Thanks to the YouTube chat. Matt said he bought some Hey Dudes today. Someone else said that they were homeschooled, so they had a class of 1.
Class of 1, yeah. I can't imagine what that's like.
Beat that. I don't know. I don't know.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I wonder what that's like. Like, if you're homeschooled, what is your feeling about whether you were or weren't denied the ability to develop the social skills that you would develop in that classroom? Or does that matter, or did it not matter? Did you feel when you were done that you were perfectly suited and ready to go out into the world, or do you feel ill-equipped in terms of social skills and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I want to change the subject just real quick before we end this. A lot of people are sitting around today wondering, right, if there will be any penalties for NASCAR. Yeah. Right. And so, as are we. And we will be, should anything come out today, or if it doesn't, whatever, should anything come out today or tomorrow, we'll be quick to react to it and put something together. So keep your eye out for that on our social media handles. But as of right now, there's no word. So
absolutely.
Yeah. We would expect something to come out of what happened this past Sunday. So we'll see what NASCAR ends up deciding.
Yeah, keep an eye on our socials, and we'll be here for it.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Xfinity. Thank you all for tuning in, man. It's good to see everybody. Good to see. My favorite part of the show is when I feel like we have a live audience here in the room, and so it's always great to talk to everybody, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Xfinity, a proud premier partner of NASCAR, for supporting us here at the Dale Jr. Download and the RS Junior segment. Thank you.